Can you get a prayer through? I believe that as believers in Christ, if you have a relationship with God, we are all called to pray. I do believe that there is a time where we are supposed to give ourselves into intercessory prayer. Now, some people may say, you know what, I'm not an intercessor, but like I said, I believe we are all called to pray. So, how to know if you are intercessor? You will always get a prayer through. You will be praying for others more than you pray for yourself. The Lord will show you people's faces, and many of them you won't even know, but you are going to cover them in prayer. The Lord may wake you up at maybe midnight, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and He'll tell you specifically, pray for these individuals, pray for this community, pray for this nation, and you will be up praying for them, and you won't stop until the Lord releases you and you have peace about the situation. Sometimes the Lord will reveal to you who you are praying for and what you're praying for. Sometimes you'll run across these people, a specific time. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how many times this has happened to me, because I do believe that I am called to intercession. But this one time specifically, the Lord woke me up and He told me to pray for a lady named Laura. And I was just like, okay, you know. And actually, I believe I was still even dreaming, and I dreamed about a lady named Laura. And I was just like, I'm not sure why I'm dreaming about her. But I got up, I wrote her name down. And then later in the day, the Lord was like, Laura, pray for Laura. Laura has cancer. Pray for her healing. And I just kept dreaming about a Hispanic woman named Laura. And I was just like, okay. And so, like I said, wrote her name down and continued to pray for her. I would have several different dreams and visions, of course, but over a period of 1 year, I kept seeing this lady's face, hearing this lady's name, and the Lord said, pray for her for cancer. Now, about a year has passed, and my daughter was told she had to have an unexpected surgery. And so the doctor was really trying to get her scheduled as quickly as he could. And so on the day of her surgery, I went with her, sat with her, and then I went into the waiting room as it was time for her to go in for her procedure. And about 45 minutes later, they asked me, would I please go to the lobby? And I'm just like, I should be in the waiting room waiting for my daughter. And they're like, you know what, we kind of need to do some cleaning in here. Would you mind? And of course I was comfortable. You know, it had only been about 45 minutes, but I was comfortable. I did not want to move, but I said, you know what, I'll go ahead and sit in the lobby. You know, the procedure, they said, takes about 5, 10, 15 minutes, but you know, by the time they wake them up, the anesthesia and so forth, it's going to be quite longer. So I went ahead, I waited in the lobby, and I sat on my phone. And at first I was kind of going through scriptures and reading them, but then I got on, started playing some games. So I'm playing a game and I'm not really paying much attention, and a lady comes in and she walks right up to me and she says, I've been looking for you. And so I was like, okay, hi, good morning, how are you? You know, and then I'm kind of still going to my phone because I don't want to lose, you know, the level I'm on. And she says, God told me to look for you. And I was like, okay, Lord, let me give her my undivided attention. And so I said, okay. And then the Lord said immediately, this is who you've been praying for. This is the lady. This is Laura. And so I looked at her and she said, yeah, like I said, I've been looking for you. I finally was able to come here. My husband is having surgery this morning, and they kicked me out of the waiting room I was in and had me come to the lobby. And she said, but I knew I was supposed to find you. And so I was like, well, the Lord didn't prepare me for that. But I was like, that's fine, because I had already been praying. And so I said, is your name Laura? And she says, yes. And she's like, you were expecting me. And so I let her know for over 1 year, you know, the Lord had her cross me in dreams, in visions, and I would just hear a voice, pray for her, pray for her. And she said, yes, she has cancer, but that her husband also had cancer, and he was there for a surgery on cancer, whatever they were working on in his body. And I let her know that she was on my list. And I said, it's so funny the way God orchestrated us to meet that day, because she was in a waiting room on one wing of the hospital. I'm in a waiting room in another wing. But the way God is so strategic, he had us meet up in the lobby and we were able to meet face to face. Now, when I'm in intercession praying for people, that does not always happen. A lot of times I'm praying for people like Laura that I don't even know. They can be in different states, different countries, and I don't even hear about it. I may hear later someone says a situation that happened. I'm like, oh my gosh, I dreamed about that, and I got up and prayed, and they were like, I knew somebody was praying for me, but it's not always common that happens. So it's important to know that when the Lord puts somebody on your heart to pray for them, it doesn't matter if you know them, if they're a friend, a foe, it doesn't matter who they are. We shouldn't have any foes, but it doesn't matter who they are. The Lord is calling you for intercession. He's calling you because he knows he can trust you and you can get a prayer through. So if God is calling you to intercede, pray in the Spirit for others, even when you don't see the impact, keep praying. You are doing a high calling for the Lord. I hope this encourages you. Be blessed.